Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead for everyone out there. Hopefully you watched the Morning Call Express. I went over levels that I thought needed to hold in certain indices, and I went over a few of my focuses, because again, on Friday I don't have a recap because I was in Short Hill, so I did list my positions. I usually don't do that. That's for the VTF or for the note, but on Friday I listed some of the, my positions going into the close to try and ingrain some confidence to stick with longs just in case and not get too worried about the election. Some actually obviously acted better than others. Before we get into it, first look at the S&P or the SPX chart. All in all, not a great day. If you had it long and you sat there, it was a whole lot of nothing. All in all, though, this 2380 held, okay, and then here, if you were looking for it to hold higher, it did hold above the 8-day, went as low as 2393, didn't even get down to 2389. So still in the cards to be taken out 2400, except for the the indices haven't been easy. You've had to just sit in them, and if you sat in them and bought dips, maybe you made some money. There hasn't been much momentum. This was really the gap up that you had to really buy in the indices if you weren't in it for the for the first preliminary French elections, and then if you did, you made some methodical money. It's been above the 8-day since, and I did add to it on Friday, and I just pretty much sat there. I have a little less spiders than I had on on Friday into today, just because I just feel like it's I don't need to be so concentrated there. But if you were in individual names that follow the rules, you did really well. Okay, I listed on Friday. I went long Apple. Why did I go long Apple? I was actually long Apple from Thursday because Apple came out with earnings. I did not take it into earnings. Okay, it did come in and hold the 8-day, so it tested the 8-day and held. So right on this inside day was when I got long and added to it on Friday for a nice breakout to close at all-time highs. A stock like Apple that closes at all-time highs after earnings, the good book says take it home. If you took it home, you could have, you could pick and choose where you wanted to sell it. I still have some Apple on, but a lot less than I took home overnight on Friday because, again, I have a 3-day rule. 1, 2, 3, I always usually sell into it. Day 4, I cry about how many I had here, but it doesn't matter. We'll see what happens. At this point, you saw a little greed come in, okay, a little fear of not owning. But anyway, technically, if you follow the rules, like I was not long Apple into earnings. I said, you know what, I'm going to wait and see. What happened here? Boom, held the 8-day closed off that low, and then on this day I said I'm going to buy versus this spot because now I had price discovery. Here we closed strong on Friday, okay, take more for some follow through, and there you have it, still in some small. So this morning though I talked about how I lost a lot of money trading Amazon last week because it was so weak, and then Amazon Barron's put a good article together besides Jeff selling his billion shares, which he doesn't have to sell anymore, combined with maybe Apple with the home and the streaming, whatever it was. I was like, okay, if Amazon can get above 940 and stay above it, maybe it wakes up since the earnings is out of the way. So that was from the morning, and basically it had a nice day. This was the last time Amazon got tight. This was your earnings came in and then engulfed it. Came in, tested the 8-day moving average, and this was my price that I wanted it to get above and stay above. So got long around 940-ish, 941. Closed near 948 or even a little bit higher near 949. So I do think it can get some follow through tomorrow. If you don't take risk overnight, we'll see. You might miss a trade if it opens up above 954. If you did take it overnight and futures are down, you could probably buy a little bit down for it to go green, go through this and go. I would think that Amazon makes another move up. Okay, this is a nice bull flag pattern, closed on high, showed relative strength all day. The good book tells me to be long it. I've been long it all day. The VTF saw it, and I actually went over it in the Morning Call Express, so hopefully you got involved as well. I've been updating Redler All Access all day on it. Last time it broke out above a prior pivot, it had a 6-day move. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you know what? If you're playing a little bit of a middle from here to get above there, have some on, and then if it gets above this and closes above this, perhaps it makes that move to 1,000, which every analyst out there says. I haven't really been in stride with Google. Some of you guys got long from the Red Dog reversal after earnings right here, okay, because it opened up on earnings, sold down, then went below 923, came back above it if that was you and you bought it here. You're enjoying a nice ride. Today, tried to go below Friday's low, came right back above it, so reclaim this. So if you were using 948 as your pivot, you did pretty well. Came back above it. You could have bought it with a stop at the low of the day, not even 60, 70 cents, and made $10. Now it closed strong, and it, who knows, maybe this continues. 8-day didn't really catch up, so I didn't buy it. Facebook, kind of similar to Apple, where it came in, tested, okay, the 8-day moving average right there on earnings day, red day Friday, but now you have a 3-day pivot. I am not long Facebook, but maybe tomorrow if it gets above this 150, 160, I buy it for a move back to highs. Still above the 8-day moving average. Here was your last nice breakout. Proved to hold it again, so we'll see what type of action we get here tomorrow. I wasn't in a rush. I was busy doing a lot of other things, and at this point, it's hanging in there. Maybe be long. Some of you guys are long versus this spot, and if it trades above this, you know what, you get some follow through. If you think you're going to miss something out, be in small and then figure out what's next. As far as Tesla, some guys actually shorted the open. Why'd they short the open? Because, you know what, this was after earnings. You had a nice day Friday, a little follow through. Sometimes you get a gap fill, and they sell it. Well, today made a 15, 30-minute high. DP was all over it. Wound up, going red for a $3, $4 trade. I ultimately think, Tesla's a long, not a short. That's why I didn't short it, but I always put some, like an offensive coordinator, some routes for the wide receivers, some for the tight ends, some for the running backs. For those of you who are looking, said, hey, I covered into this move, or I covered on this day, let me try it again. At least it was calculated. Okay, now we'll see if, a new pattern to develop. I don't really like this pattern. Here, it broke below this, and now it needs some time to rebuild, kind of like what happened here. Remember this? Reversed, took some time before finally breaking above this spot, which is when we put the call spread on and started trading along again. So this needs a little time, in my humble opinion. I didn't even look at Netflix. Let's see what Netflix did today. A whole lot of nothing, so maybe we'll look at it tomorrow. Still holding the 8-day moving average, so still hanging in there. Really nice trade since breaking out above this 148.30. Remember that trade, and now it's still going a little sideways. BABA took a few sessions off. Now it's holding, this 8-day in a choppy fashion. It has earnings next week, so we'll see what happens here next. I still think at some point this is going to take out the all-time highs. It's just a matter of how. Okay, it's been a really nice trade for us. This was the last earnings. It's been above the 21-day since. If you're a swing trader and you're just holding it versus the 21-day, keep doing that. If you're trying to trade it with patterns, last real pattern that broke above was right here, and then again right here. And pretty much in this day I sold it, and I didn't buy the dip. I'm going to wait and see if there's another way to enter this. I just had too much stuff going on, and I wasn't so sure. Banks, not great, but I'm still in Bank of America. Hanging out here. Looks like it's getting close to breaking above this 50-day moving average. I thought it would have done it on Friday with the jobs report, but these algos want to make everyone second guess it. Other banks weren't really strong, was strong on its own. If all the banks were strong, I'd probably mean a lot more instead. I'm just in this one with a tier 1. Here's when it broke above this descending channel, and here it held again. And now we'll see if you could hold this and add for a little bit of, follow through. But kind of hard for it to do it on its own, I would think. JP Morgan. It's holding in there tight, or getting tighter. See that nice descending channel here, holding above this, so we'll see. So banks are still hanging in there. Bios are definitely a little bit more broken. Maybe tomorrow again oversold, red dog reversal. This kind of broke above here and couldn't get traction, and really this was really when I think a momentum trader would have got out of it, thinking, hey, it's getting a little weaker, lower high versus this spot, and then on Friday, it went back, actually didn't give you much signals, and then now boom. So we'll see if, this area holds, or maybe you get a red dog reversal around this spot tomorrow. Through earnings, there was not much leadership. The bios tried to act better when it broke above here, but then Celgene, Amgen, nothing really gave enough power to go, and then you had, Kite with news of someone dying or something happened. I didn't see it. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, but basically, just no leadership. Look at, bios can't go up when you have something like Celgene, closing below the 8 and 21 day here, and then getting downside follow through. So we'll see what happens there next. The IWM kind of hanging around, still not great. If you're in this long, maybe you're long versus this spot. And if this market really wants to get some traction, it's going to have to get back above this. I did buy this towards the end of the day just in case I wanted to play some catch up. If there's a bear surprise tomorrow, this probably opens below that, but I'm okay with giving it a little try here. So all in all, everything wasn't working. The guys who were in Apple from last week, they had a great day. Guys who bought Amazon today strategically probably had a good day. Those who've been just holding Google since the red dog reversal, good day. Those in the banks, a little choppy. Those in the oil group, those just in indices, not much money there. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see if that changes. So very, very specific right now. But things are working. Don't short. don't short Apple because, something else isn't going down. Or don't short Amazon because, Baba's, these relationships are not really working. Things are trading in their own little box. That's what happens after earnings. So, treat each stock differently based on the price action, based on the pattern, and don't fight something. Do not just say this can't go up anymore because it can. Same way you buy something and say it can't go down anymore, and it can. When things are moving out of the bands, so to speak, the Bollinger Bands, do a level versus a level. Otherwise, you can get blown out of the water. I think some guys were even shorting Apple today. I don't know why, but just because they thought it was up $2 and there's no reason for it to go up 3, and then it goes up 4 and change, and they get crushed when they wanted to buy a dip, but it wasn't there, so they chased it short. Anyway, we'll have more tomorrow. We'll see if we get some more upside traction, and we'll put things together. And the week just started, and we have a lot of days ahead of us. Hope you did well today, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.